So happy New Year then. It's New Year's Day 2021 and we've made it. We finally made it here. So if you saw the video last night, I actually swapped the days around and I wanted to do a nice optimistic post yesterday about the actual looking forwards to our vision, and wanted it to be quite optimistic. And in actual fact, I am genuinely optimistic this year about this year, and the reason that I'm able to do that, I'm quite excited about the things that I've planned, is because I have done that, creating the vision. I know where I'm going, I know what I want to do, and now I'm putting the steps in place to get there. And actually part of that started last year. And it doesn't matter, with your vision, you might have a vision that's kind of 5 years ahead maybe, but really create that vision in detail nonetheless, because that is what's going to inform your steps throughout this year and the following year, and backwards into the months and weeks that lead up to that. And and sometimes our vision can have a way of coming forwards and coming into fruition earlier than expected, and that's certainly the case for me at the moment. So my 5-year plan has turned into a 1-year plan, which is very, very exciting indeed. And that's just because I decided to just go for it. I think after the year that we were having last year, I thought, right, I've got nothing to lose and I'm going to do the thing that I really want to do. There's nothing really stopping me from doing that. So as I say, I swapped the days over. So tonight I'm going to be talking about the exercise that comes just before the vision exercise, and it's actually a really important task to undertake this one, particularly if you're not feeling great, if you're a bit miserable, if you're a bit low, if you don't really have much of a sense of direction at the moment. This is a really good place to start, because this will help you to get a sense of how and where you are right now. And the way to do that is by looking at your essential needs. And there is a diagram here which you will see in your planner, and I've started to put mine out, and it's got all of the essential needs on there, and you'll see that they come under 5 different categories, or what we call domains of life, being the physical domain, the emotional domain, psychological or mental, social domain, and the spiritual domain. And there are 3 needs in each domain. And the idea with this diagram is that you you mark yourself at, you give yourself a little rating. So each of these lines equates to a number which starts 1 here and 10 here. And you go round and you can use this page here, which gives a description of, tells you what all the needs are and gives a little sentence description about each of them. So you just have a bit of an understanding about our interpretation of those words around there. And then you come onto here and you mark yourself at the level that you consider yourself to be right now. And this will give you a good sort of visual image of how things are right now, and you'll be able to see right away where there are things that you might want to do some work on. So for me, my physiological survival needs here are probably the lowest, but in actual fact that's improved since last year. I think I was about a 2 this time last year, because I've had some significant health challenges, and I decided to put myself at a 5, because I know I still have quite a lot of work to do on that. So when you come to the next sheet here, there are 2 sheets where I've listed out all the needs again, and you have a box here to put the number that you've rated yourself on that diagram, and you can go through and put those all in. And then the first box, it asks you, it says reason, and it what you're actually being asked to do is to write some notes next to each number about the reason you chose to rate yourself at that level. So for example, I rated myself, as I said, as a 5, and I still have a lot of work to do on my physical health and also on my nutritional status. So that's, you know, the work that the reason that I put myself as a 5, sorry. And then the next box is, how can I change or improve? So this is about looking for a solution. So this is to get you to start imagining that there is something that you can do to make this better. So I've made a commitment with my son to get in better shape, eat well, exercise, sleep well, and stop doing the habits that are unhealthy for me. For example, like forgetting to eat and things like that. So for me, as I say, what you can then do is go and expand on that, because obviously that's not a really clear goal, but it's the starters of a solution. And so in actual fact, my son and I have actually already started doing that. We weighed and measured a couple of days ago, and we've actually started making a written plan about, you know, what we're going to eat, how we're going to get in better shape, we're going to go for walks, we're going to get enough hours of sleep at night, and all of those sorts of things. So you can kind of flesh it out, and we've got to make it quite, you know, we've got to have clear goals. We've got to be able to pin them down so that we can actually follow them. You know, we talk about SMART goals being specific and measurable and achievable, realistic and time bound. So for example, if you set yourself a goal of I'm going to move somewhere else in 5 years' time, that's going to be quite hard to sort of tangibly to get hold of, you know, in a tangible way, because you haven't said where you're going, you know, how you're going to go about it, when exactly that's going to be done by, and then, you know, it's going to be much more difficult to get excited about that. So for example, my vision, it has been very, very clear. As I say, it was a 5-year vision. It's now a 1-year vision, and you know, it's to move to Cornwall, buy a small holding, and set up my education centre down there, and set up a new community garden, and that is what I'm working towards now. And so I've had to do things like I've cleared out my house, I've had 2 skips worth of rubbish, recycled a load of stuff, sold a load of stuff, I've redecorated my house, put my house on the market 2 weeks ago, and I've started looking for places to rent and places to buy as well, because we might have to do an interim move. But you know, so I know what the steps are, I know the things that I've got to do to get there. So the thing about our essential needs, the reason why they're so important is because if we have unmet needs, we are going to start to feel quite stressed, we're going to start to feel low, we're going to start feeling anxious. And it's a sure sign that there is an unmet need, or a number of unmet needs, if we are starting to feel out of sorts, you know, we're starting to feel as if we're going a bit downhill. So it's a really good idea to check in with these quite regularly. So I do them perhaps every quarter. I will check in again, have a look, see how they're going, see how I'm doing. And of course, you don't necessarily you don't have to fill out all of these. You could choose maybe 2 or 3 that you want to focus on that are perhaps more problematic for you right now than others. But the main thing is that you can start to imagine the solutions to them. In this box, you can just have a little, a real overview look at, you know, what could be a solution to this, what could I do, and then start to make that a clearer commitment, and then start to get those needs met more effectively. And that's going to make you feel more resilient, it's going to make you feel more robust, and resilience is exactly what we need to get us through these difficult times. So if you want to join us in the group and talk to us a bit more about how you're getting on with this and hear about what we're doing, then you can click on the link below, download the free workbook, and join us in the free group, and that will be lovely.